Yes, guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel. We have got a big fish above my head, the George Benson fishing channel. Don't worry, this isn't a precursor for new things and different things happening. We've got the Chelsea news today. We're going to go through the latest on Nkunku. We're also going to talk big time about Xavi Simons and Alejandro Garnacho. And we're going to start to form what I think could be a complete look at the Chelsea squad come the start of next season. So right now, let me give you a little bit of an update. We're going to be moving to Dubai at the end of August. We're going to have a new GBFC set there. It's going to be for the whole season. Just want to change things up a little bit. I've not lived in the UK. I know there's a lot of new people here on the channel. I've not lived in the UK for the last 5.5 years. So I'm back here now for the summer, going to see my family. It's my birthday on, I think Wednesday is my birthday, August the 6th. So I'm going to be here for that. And the start of the season, I'm going to go to Crystal Palace. I'm not going to go to the friendlies, but there will be live streams, watch-alongs next week for both the Bayer Leverkusen and AC Milan friendlies. So fingers crossed that we get the Xavi Simons deal done before my 31st birthday on Wednesday. That would be great. But let me give you the latest updates here. Chelsea are pursuing both Xavi Simons and Garnacho deals. Important to note, this was nearly half a day ago. Separate deals, separate topics, and not alternative. Very important. Both players keen on joining CFC. Talks advanced for Xavi. Leipzig aware of players' desire. No talks for Garnacho yet, but he's on Chelsea's list. And these are both players here. So Xavi Simons, Chelsea priority. Alejandro Garnacho, Chelsea market opportunity. If this was the other way around, if it was that we were going to go for Garnacho now, park the bus a little bit for Xavi Simons, wait until later in the window, I don't think this is how Chelsea and Enzo Maresca would ideally build this squad. And that is my opinion. Obviously, right now, there's a big uproar within the fan base about Garnacho to Chelsea. And I think rightly so. Chelsea fans, of course, we've always got the right to have an opinion on anything. Whether it is critical of ownership, critical of decisions, signings, whatever, we can all have our thoughts and opinions on it. And the Garnacho to Chelsea situation is one where I've kind of just resided to the fact that we're probably going to sign him. And if we look at the rest of the news here, there's an update this morning from Fabrizio that said this: Alejandro Garnacho has given his total priority to Chelsea. Talks took place on player side. No negotiations yet with Man United, as price will be key factor. Timing of the deal not expected to be imminent. Can take some time with Chelsea focused on outgoings and Xavi. As I've said, if it was the other way round, if Chelsea were prioritising a move here for Alejandro Garnacho over going for Xavi Simons, a player who, if we bring both of these pictures up here, I think we're talking about half the value. I think Alejandro Garnacho will probably cost Chelsea, if we do buy him, will probably cost us around 30 million, whereas Xavi Simons at 60 million is obviously a major signing. He's a player that will probably come in and start the majority of matches. A lot of people are also saying at the moment, then perhaps it's going to be Cole Palmer and Xavi Simons in the 10. If Chelsea go for Garnacho, that means it will be Gittins, Garnacho on the left wing, potentially Tyreek George too. And we're going to go over this in a moment because I think there's some big updates here because we're going to talk Nkunku soon as well. But Xavi Simons is the deal that I think is the game changer for Chelsea. I think when you've got two players, both left-footed like Cole Palmer, who loves to shoot from outside the box, can make things happen out of nowhere. Xavi Simons, very similar in the way that he likes to get a shot off, can shoot with his right foot. These two players potentially playing in the number 10 position at the same time for Chelsea, I think is going to be something that sees the evolution of what we saw in the Club World Cup from Enzo Maresca, where we had Malo Gusto holding that width on the right side as being like an up and down wing back, with Reece James anchoring in a midfield position. We could see that a lot more. Gets Enzo Fernandez further forward too. But I think the priority at the moment for Chelsea, and we spoke about this in a recent video too, the priority is to make sure that Enzo Maresca has options and variations across all positions, because Chelsea this year, right, this is the time where we should be doubling down, and it is the time where we are seeing that we are doubling down in this transfer window. If we look at the squad again, Yorel Hato signing at left back is a fantastic Chelsea signing. When you look at where he can play, both left back and centre back, I think he's going to be getting more minutes than Badiashile. I still think there could be a world where Badiashile gets sold. I've not even got Disasi on this entire flipping list because that's also pretty much a foregone conclusion that he will leave as well. But when you look at the depth here, we're going to go into the red dot players a little bit later. We have got options, and I think Xavi Simons completes the Chelsea attack. Whereas Alejandro Garnacho, all right, this is the stage I'm in now, is that I have accepted that Chelsea will probably go for him. And when we look at the news, okay, this is from what, 11 hours ago now from Fabrizio Romano, where there wasn't any talks. So within the last 11 hours, talks have taken place on the player's side. We've also seen Garnacho liking posts on Instagram from Fabrizio Romano linking him to Chelsea. So everything points in the direction of Garnacho wants the move. Chelsea right now are making the right decision in not prioritising this move, but seeing it as a potential late opportunity. And I also think this is going to put Chelsea in a position where we might even attempt to do something similar to what we did last year with Jadon Sancho. Now, I know that a lot of people are very much in the camp right now that regardless of how much it costs, regardless of what the deal is for Garnacho, they don't want Garnacho. And let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below, because I'm at the point where I've accepted that we're probably going to do it. I will absolutely support him when he's at Chelsea in the hope that he can become a special player at our football club. But it doesn't mean that I want this signing to happen, because I think Xavi Simons completes the attack. Yes, I am worried about the off-field antics of Garnacho. I do think his brother has been a hindrance to him at Manchester United. You know, Mark Goldbridge has said today how much of a prat he is because he's liking pictures of another club that he's linked to when he's still on the payroll at Manchester United. I know that Amorim doesn't want him. I know that he doesn't want to be there anymore. I know that Man United, why would you want to be there? They're 15th place in the Premier League table. They've just gone out and flipping splash money on Brian Mbeumo, Mateus Cunha, players that Amorim prefers in his system over the likes of Garnacho. There's also a big question mark about how selfish Garnacho is. When he's in the final third, quite often, he's looking for that moment for himself. Now, at Chelsea right now, we don't have that. We have got a selfless team of players that are fighting for one another, running around ensuring that the tactical roles that they've been given by Enzo Maresca are being understood. And on the whole, largely, everybody has understood what that task is. Even, if we bring him up on the screen now, someone like Christopher Nkunku. Nkunku is a big question mark right now for this Chelsea team. And if we sign Alejandro Garnacho, let's actually move these players on the left-hand side over to the left a little bit more. Tyreek George, we know that Chelsea are wanting to loan him right now. We've heard that from a few sources over the course of recent days. So if we do this, and we just add Garnacho in here, there is not anything that anyone can tell me right now that would change my mind on this being the order at Chelsea if Garnacho signs. I don't see Alejandro Garnacho getting in the team more often than Jamie Gittins. I think Gittins is a perfect winger signing for what Enzo Maresca wants to do. Enzo Maresca wants wingers that can be right out here on this left wing and cut inside. And that's exactly what Gittins' game is. That's exactly what he's been doing countless times at Borussia Dortmund last season. And the stats even back this one up. Jamie Gittins' accuracy when it comes to shooting, significantly higher than that of Garnacho. And the output levels as well. So when I look at this again, even if Xavi Simons is going to be a backup here to Palmer, and potentially we do see Enzo Fernandez maybe dropping out the team a bit more, but I don't think we can do that. I don't see Enzo Fernandez getting less minutes this season if he's going to be one of those advanced 10s. If you've got someone like Xavi Simons and Palmer playing in this kind of area of the pitch with a João Pedro, there is a lot of variance there. There's a lot of ability for those different players to rotate. You've also got Liam Delap, who's a different kind of target man up front as a more natural number 9, and he actually is Chelsea's number 9. Where would that leave Nkunku? Garnacho's only going to be signed if Christopher Nkunku leaves Chelsea. And if we believe what's been said by L'Equipe, which is an outlet in France, over the course of the last 24 hours, potentially Enzo Maresca could well be keen on keeping Nkunku at the club. So this is why I think this is happening. Chelsea, I believe, are going to wait until the very end of this August transfer deadline to seal the deal for Alejandro Garnacho. Because if we do get the Simons deal done, which isn't a foregone conclusion, but everyone's pretty confident right now we're going to get this done, then we've got options. We don't necessarily need Alejandro Garnacho at the club. So with Tyreek George going out on loan, even then you could argue Chelsea still don't need to sign Alejandro Garnacho. So it will depend entirely on the finances of selling Nkunku. So Chelsea here, I believe, are going to wait until the end of the window. And I would not be surprised if we offered Man United a loan with a buy option for Garnacho. That isn't optimal for Manchester United, but Chelsea are doing the kind of getting the feelers on the player right now in terms of, does he want to go to Chelsea? We've ticked that box. Garnacho doesn't want to be at United. That box has been ticked for a long time. So Chelsea are in a position where the longer the window goes on, yes, there could be teams that come in for Garnacho, but remember, this is a footballer who seemingly doesn't really care too much about how he treats the club that he's at right now. So if Garnacho doesn't want to go to Besiktas, that was the talk that was coming out yesterday, he's going to say no. He's not going to go whether Man United tried to sell him or say yes to the deal or not. Garnacho wants Chelsea. So if Chelsea are talking with Garnacho now, Garnacho will be aware that Xavi Simons is the priority. So again, I also want to kind of devil's advocate this a little bit, because I know that Garnacho isn't the kind of player who doesn't kick up a fuss when things aren't going wrong. And it would be very easy to turn around and be like, look, yeah, I'm not going to do that at Chelsea, mate. I understand my position. I'm not going to be playing every game. If we do get this Simons deal done, I don't see how Garnacho gets in over these players. And look, yes, I don't want Chelsea to sign Garnacho. Yes, I will support him if he joins Chelsea. But best believe, mate, there is absolutely no room in this squad right now for any kind of petulance, which is why Nicholas Jackson is also up here, because he's got double-figure goals for Chelsea in the Premier League in the last 2 seasons, his first 2 seasons in English football. But still, right now we could be looking to sell him. So let's say we do sell Jackson and we make some money there. Would this mean that Chelsea go in for another number 9? Or would we see Nkunku's name fit in here, potentially, but can also be an option there? So if we also remove Tyreek George, Chelsea fans, let me know in the comments below, how would we feel if this was actually the attacking depth options that we have this summer? If Nkunku stays, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 attackers. Maybe we do need Garnacho. I don't know. It's difficult. Chelsea have always said we want 9 attackers this summer that can play across that front line. You would also potentially then see Enzo Fernandez coming into this position a little bit more. But I do see a world where this could actually be what ends up being Chelsea's attack this season. If we don't get the right bids for Nkunku, we're not going to sell him. And I also think the Nicholas Jackson situation is still going to be one where Maresca wants him at Chelsea. If the right offer doesn't come in, Chelsea will not sell. But let's go back quickly now to the latest on Garnacho. He's given his priority to Chelsea. Talks took place on the players' side. I'm going to say it. We're going to sign both. Xavi Simons is going to get done this week, and Garnacho will end up at Chelsea by the end of the window. Ideally, it's a loan with a buy option. I don't think that'll be the case. 30 million? It's cheap, but is he even that good? That's the thing. I've not seen it really yet in his career at Manchester United. Let me know your thoughts on all of today's news stories in the comments down below. If there is updates later on today, I'll be sure to keep you guys updated here on GBFC. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Come on, you Blues.